Hey guys, we're at Fucking, and decided to do another episode of TactTalk. We just finished playing a night of 40k. So say hi. This is Jahaziel. All right, and we got Adrian, and we got Casey.
What's up?
The Farseer being making your enemies roll 3d6 instead of 2d6 on psych tests. So what do you guys think on how to deal with Farseers?
Well, they're squishy, so just hit them with anything relatively dedicated close combat. I mean, even just assault marines, or shoot a couple plasma cannons at them. If they're protected by an ablative squad of maybe just anything like witches or no, they have the.
So Dire Avengers or Guardians.
Dire Avengers or Guardians. I mean, they're so squishy. I mean, they're toughness 3, so swinging with anything like an auto cannon or a plasma cannon. I mean, that's how I usually deal with them. It's what the rest of the army has to bring to the table, so we have to worry about. Dark Reapers, Shining Spears every now and then, and the ones that blaze storm. Dire Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Hate those with a passion.
To deal with the Farseers specifically is you get him alone, and because like Adrian said, toughness 3, squishy. Hit him with strength 6, he'll instant death him, and then he'll be
And
done.
he's only got a 4-up invulnerable save. That's it.
Yeah. So he'll die easy.
Just getting to them is the problem.
What were you guys talking about? Solar Flare, was it?
Vargard, O'Brien, and Nemesaur Zandrak. Yeah.
And how brutal he is.
And why is he brutal?
He can take away all those special. He can take any and enemy units, tank hunters, furious charge, and all those kinds of things, and they're done for the game. The other part is if you assault his unit, Vargard shows up, and they both have war size. I tried a Dreadnought, it didn't matter. The war size have 2d6.
They also have Sempiternal Weave, so they got a 2-up armor save.
2-up invulnerables. They have 2-up armor saves, 5-up invulnerables,
something like that.
And because you really buff them with a court of maybe 2 lords and a few cryptex, all kinds of nonsense. They're a much more assaultier, tougher unit to crack than you would think. When you think Necron's shooty, no. With these clowns, they're a tough hand-to-hand unit to bust in hard.
Especially if they throw in like a cryptic with a solar pose, or a tremor stave, or an ether lance, things like that. They really screw around with not only your composition, but how you play. You have to start doing a lot of maneuvering around them. If you don't want to meet them head on, they are a pretty tough unit despite being weapon skill 4.
But give it a couple months and we'll figure out actually how to crack that nut. Wound allocation shenanigans. It was...
We're talking 5th edition here.
Talking 5th edition. The wound allocation rules were good because it no longer meant you ended up always having to deal with a power physics sergeant or a special weapon dude. So the wound allocation system worked more realistically because you had to spread wounds around. The bad part of it was wound allocation shenanigans, things like knobs and Thunderwolf Cav. Paladins, giving everything all that. So then that really bogs down the game, and it's a decently exploitable mechanic, but maybe that needs to be cleaned up in 6th edition.
Adrian says that Tau is a very competitive list.
Didn't say very.
He said they're still
I'm sorry.
I said they're still competitive.
No, they're still competitive.
They're still competitive than probably the SOB. The Sisters of Battle got shafted pretty hard. I mean, the best HQ they have is St. Celestine. That's about it. But I still think with the Fire Knife Squadrons, with the Smart Missile Systems and the Plasma Rifle, I think that's the loadout. If you skirt those around, yeah, a lot of their troops are very prohibitive in the sense that you can't spam them. But I still think that compared to most other armies, they can still be somewhat competitive. Obviously not as much as the 5th edition codexes, but I still think that in the hands of a dedicated player, you can still make it really competitive.
Any rebuttals to that? Casey, you're grinning here.
Yeah, I'm a Tau player since 4th edition, and Tau is my best army in 4th edition. I have a really good winning record with them then. Once 5th edition came out, everybody's too fast. You can close and get hand-to-hand way too easily by turn 2, or absolutely guaranteed by turn 3, and you'll catch crisis suits, and Crew didn't work, Bubble Wrap didn't work, Space Force Scouts. Anyway, the game is just way too fast now. 5th edition, too many codexes have the speed to get to every Tau unit by turn 3, and then you're toast.
Especially with the advent of the Storm Raven and the Raiders. Raiders that can move supersonic or something like that. They can move like 24 inches. Dark Eldar, notorious for that. So I guess I will give you that point. But I still think there's some air of maneuverability and hardiness to them. As long as you spam broadsides. I don't think the Hammerhead's really worth it too much anymore. Although for 5 points you do get the 4-up cover save.
Yeah,
you know, the disruption pod. That's still something. I mean,
it just makes their tanks slightly more providable, and the broadsides are the better way to go.
I think the only thing they really deal with badly and not very consistent is horde armies, huh? Because I think they're very good against elite armies.
Yeah, you would have to have 3 hammerheads for the pie plates, and then
because that's the only that's the only pie plate that can get in the army besides the
flamer templates. Yeah.
Well, no, the commander has that fletched discharge or whatever,
Yeah,
but it's not worth it.
It's not really.
You know?
Yeah, and since I've actually picked up Dark Eldar, I would still say that Tau are really seriously hosed until there's another codex.
But you say they're at least better than Sisters of Battle.
No, I'd say Sisters are closer to a good Marine army. I've seen some good bat reps on there, and in the hands of a capable general, decent. I haven't seen any good bat reps concerning Tau. They just can't pull it off.
Well, seeing how they're coming up with new rules for it, I saw it on the White Dwarf, but they have these special rules that I'm not sure about until I actually get the codex. They don't have the same acts of faith anymore. Maybe I'm not sure if they have different special rules now. I know they still have the same function, but I don't know what the actual acts of faith are.
Well, I've often heard that the acts of faith, they kind of pushed them into roles they weren't meant to, like the Dominions, which could take all the 4 special weapons. They kind of got a rule that would be better suited to Retributors, which take the heavy weapons, and the Retributors got the one that was meant vice versa. Not only that, where they could only take a minimum of 4. I think the Dominions could have like a minimum or maximum. They can no longer take a minimum. They either take all of them at once, or there has to be like a certain squad allocation, squad size in order to take up
like
to
a
4.
proportion to the squad size to weapon ratio for you to use.
That's exactly it.
Sure.
I was trying to remember what I was trying to say.
But I noticed that the acts of faith, the old ones were, if you use them in the right order, the ones that required you to roll less than or equal to the squad size were meant for like the longer range stuff. So it's like while you're standing back and shooting, you can use those. And when you close in, you use the ones that you have to roll equal to or greater than your squad size, which are meant to be like the close combat, because as you're walking away up the battlefield, you're losing battle sisters left and right, and so I guess you'll probably be whittled down by the time you get there anyway. So I think that's the purpose of that, the point value, the roll value you have to roll through. I don't know if that's going to change too, or if that's going to be, that could be a big factor too, because that'll change on how you feel and how to use the battle sisters.
I think all in all, people are just really pissed they can no longer run a Book of St. Lucius and just wreck shop like that anymore. Because that used to be one of the most popular builds. Everyone would just run a Canonist with an Artificer armor and a Book of St. Lucius and just go around destroying every HQ they come across.
And the Cloak of St. Aspera too.
Yeah, they can no longer do that. I think that's why most people are really, really just butthurt about that.
Okay guys, we're taking off now, so thank you for watching TactTalk, and remember, like if you like, favorite if you love me, and subscribe if you haven't, and if you have any other questions or anything you want to add, just add it to the comment below.
Let us know.
Let us know, exactly, let us know.
Everyone wants to know.
See you guys later.
Pocket change.